What's going on YouTube? My name's Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love looking good and I love smelling amazing. I want to do a video tonight. This video is going to be a little bit different. This isn't a tag video or anything like that. This is just a video that I felt like shooting. The top 10 designer fragrances currently in my collection right now. Not necessarily the designer fragrances in my collection that smell the best or that cost the most money. Just currently right now, my top 10 designer fragrances. Now these, with these fragrances, there are no respect of seasons or anything like that. These are just currently the ones that I'm liking the most right now in my collection. I think it's fun to do this kind of stuff. It kind of, you know, makes me do an evaluation of my collection, take inventory of what I currently have. And again, just right now, these are the ones that I'm kind of feeling the most. All fragrance enthusiasts probably can understand what I'm saying. It's just at different points in time, it's just different fragrances that you reach for more than others, and that when you wear certain fragrances, they kind of give you that feeling. And so that's what this list is going to consist of. Those fragrances right now in my collection on the designer side that give me that feeling. So if you want to know what those 10 fragrances are, y'all know how we do, baby. Keep it locked right here. We'll be right back. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned in and keeping it locked in with me. Let's go ahead and jump into this list, man. Without further ado, let's get it kicked off. So the first fragrance that I want to really talk about, I don't really have these in order 1 through 10. Just want to kind of talk real quick about the top 10 right now on the designer side. I want to start it off with Versace Arrows Flame. Versace Arrows Flame. With the original Versace Arrows, I did like the way that it smelled. It was just a little bit too aggressive for my taste. And so Versace Arrows Flame fixed what was wrong with Versace Arrows. It's more of a citrus, bright citrus opening. It doesn't have as much of that like minty vibe that you got from Versace Arrows. And so I really been enjoying this one when I wear it. Not to mention the fact that although it's not as aggressive as a Versace Arrows, it still gives me great performance. It just plays really well on my skin. So first fragrance that I want to mention on the designer side that I'm enjoying right now is Versace Arrows Flame. The fragrance that I want to discuss is from the replica lineup. Now, I'm a huge fan of By the Fire. I heard all the jazz, no pun intended, about this next fragrance, but I don't know, for some reason when I first smelled it, it was okay. But it's not until I actually got a bottle of this stuff that I absolutely fell head over heels for this fragrance. And I'm talking about none other than Jazz Club. Jazz Club. This one is just hard to explain, man. And that's the thing about these replica fragrances. It makes it kind of hard to describe it. I'm a practical reviewer, so I want to tell you that it smells like the inside of a jazz club. You have kind of the smoky thing going on. It's boozy. It's kind of sweet. A little bit of tobacco type vibe going in there, what you would expect when you walk inside of a jazz club, and that's exactly what this smells like. But this fragrance is absolutely amazing. I get great performance out of it. I get a lot of compliments on this one, and it plays really well on your boy. So this is one that I'm really feeling right now, and this one is from Replica from Maison Margiela. This is Jazz Club. The next fragrance that I want to discuss is proof that this list has nothing to do with cost, because you can actually pick this fragrance up now for about anywhere between $30 to $40. But it's just a fragrance that I absolutely love, and this is from the house of Versace, and this is Versace Man Eau Fraiche. Now, you can tell with a person like myself that has as many fragrances in my collection that I have, for me to have already run through almost half a bottle. I had this for about a year. And so I've worn it for really one summer, and I've used about this much juice. So that's proof I really enjoy this stuff. It has a star fruit note in it. Just really fresh and clean. And that's really, you know, how I like my fragrances to come across in the summertime. Just something really fresh, really clean. This does that for me to perfection. This is Versace Man Eau Fraiche. The next fragrance that I want to talk about, I was a little late to the party on this one as well. You guys probably know by now I'm not one of the reviewers that just because something new comes out, I'm gonna run out and buy it. If I wanna buy it, I will. If I wanna hold off, I will. It's just kind of how I operate, man. But this is one that I held off a little while from buying it, but now that I have it in my collection, man, this stuff, it performs 8+ hours on my skin, and to have this kind of fragrance, this kind of, you know, this kind of composition, it's just really, really amazing, the performance I get out of it. This is none other than Prada L'Homme. Of course, this is that quintessential office fragrance. It's just a beautiful, powdery, iris-based fragrance. Just heavenly, man. It makes me feel really, really good when I wear it. And again, I'm just really impressed by how well it performs. So that's why it's one of the 10 right now that I'm really enjoying from the house of Prada. This is Prada L'Homme. The next fragrance that I want to talk about really needs no introduction. It's an oldie but goodie, and I'm talking about from the house of Christian Dior. This is Dior Survive EDP. We already know what this one is, and again, this really wouldn't be a true list if I didn't put this fragrance on the list, because I mean, since I've had it, it's just been one that has been consistently been in my top 10, and it's going to continue to be that way. One of the most complimented fragrances, period, bar none, in my collection. This is Dior Survive EDP. The next fragrance on my list just has a very special place in my heart. I think it's a very underrated fragrance. Sometimes I think a lot of people just kind of look at a house and, you know, immediately that fragrance kind of has a glass ceiling that a lot of people don't allow it to kind of break through. And I think this fragrance falls victim to that. But this is from the house of Burberry, and this is Burberry Touch. Just a magnificent fragrance, spicy floral fragrance. It just smells great, man, and there's really nothing else I can say about it. This just smells freaking amazing. Again, it has a lot of floral notes in it, but it has a certain amount of spiciness to it that just really makes me fall head over heels for it. Oh man, I'm sure this one will always be in my top 10. I always have a bottle of this. This is my second bottle. The first one I ran through it. But this is, again, one of my favorites from the house of Burberry. This is Burberry Touch. This next fragrance, of course, I'm sure won't come as a surprise to many of you, but this is from the house of Chanel, and this is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. I love the EDP as well. I've said that plenty of times, but the woodier nature of the Parfum concentration makes me give this just a slight edge over the EDP. But just one of those versatile fragrances that you can throw in at any time, and it's going to smell good. You don't really have to worry about, you know, this in respect to occasion or season. You can just throw this thing on and it's going to work. From the house of Chanel, this is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. This next fragrance on my list was so good I had to get the big bottle. My wife is a fan of the original, so I had high expectations of this flanker, and it met my expectation. This is from the house of Thierry de Hermes, and this is Thierry de Hermes Eau Fraiche. Thierry de Hermes Eau Fraiche. Now this one, of course, is a fresher, more citrus take on the original, but man, this is just such a refreshing fragrance. I mean, you spray it on, and I mean, it's like you just light up. And that's what it really does for me. I got a big bottle of this. This is gonna be a staple for me moving forward in the warmer months, man. This one, I almost like it as much as the original. I dare say that I do like it a little bit more than the original, and I'm a big fan of the original, but this one is magnificent, man. This is Thierry de Hermes Eau Fraiche. Next fragrance that I want to discuss is again from that replica lineup, and this one is none other than Under the Lemon Tree. Now, I'm learning something about myself. I am really a huge fan of neroli, and that's what I really get in the opening. Besides that, of course, that really fresh, bright citrusy lemon kind of opening, I get neroli, but it's actually not neroli. What it is petitgrain, and so petitgrain actually is very close to neroli, but neroli is a little bit sweeter. Petitgrain is a little bit more bitter, but they are very similar. This fragrance reminds me of, if you've never smelled this, it puts me in the mindset of John Barbados Artisan Pure. and also a little bit of Silver Mountain Water. And of course, the commonality between those three fragrances is that they all contain that note of petitgrain. So outside of that lemon citrusy opening, petitgrain plays a major role in this fragrance and what it comes across as, and I really enjoy it. I get pretty good performance on it. So this is one that I'm really feeling right now. This is Maison Margiela's Under the Lemon Tree. So the last fragrance that I want to talk about, if you follow my channel for any amount of time, I'm talking only about designer fragrances today. So you probably know what this is from the house of Tom Ford. This is Tom Ford Noir Extreme. I'm about halfway done with this bottle, and it goes without saying that I'm going to pick up another one. This has that coffee in it, so it's really sweet. It's creamy, and it's kind of, I would say, nutty. It has the pistachio, comes in different variety of flavors, and what's used in this is the pistachio, so that's where that kind of nutty vibe comes from. But that combined with, you know, some floral notes, some sweet and creamy sandalwood in this, just one of my absolute favorite fragrances. This is always going to be in my top 10 designer fragrances, I'm pretty sure, from the house of Tom Ford. This is Noir Extreme. Thank you guys so much for indulging me and taking the time out to hear this list of my top 10 designer fragrances. Now, this is subject to change next week, of course, as I'm always collecting, of course, and bringing in new acquisitions. But for right now, these are the top 10 fragrances that I'm kind of feeling a little bit more than others. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos. Now, why would you do that? Because I'm the bow tie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. Of course, you know I'll catch you on the flip side. And always remember, I make this look good, baby. Peace.